And we are back in the building, back with some more boxing. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and all that good stuff. Now, guys, before I begin, I want to send a quick shout out to Errol the True Spence Jr. Even though he lost this past weekend, he is a true warrior in my book. He came up short. You know, Terence Crawford was just too much to handle. And Errol Spence Jr. still fought his ass off. He did the best that he could. And then when he lost the fight, he didn't make any excuses. He didn't blame anything else. You know, he said that, you know, he had an off night and Terence Crawford was the better man. And you can't do anything but respect that. And besides that, you know, he's done a lot of incredible things in the sport of boxing at the 147-pound division. Capturing 3 of the major belts from other champions, creating this big persona, the big fish, getting this huge fan base. A lot of people really rallied behind Errol the True Spence Jr. And I saw a lot of disappointed faces in Vegas when he lost the fight. I was sitting around, you know, some people that were big fans, and, you know, their hearts were broken. Their hearts were broken when Errol Spence Jr. lost the fight. So I think he still has his hardcore fans. He only has 1 loss, so, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. I know a lot of times it's perceived that way in, you know, the era we live in boxing. Losing your O is just detrimental to your career, but I don't think it really is. Look at his stablemate, Jermell Charlo. He lost to Tony Harrison, and of course he bounced back and became the undisputed champion at one of the toughest divisions in boxing. So I don't think it's over for Errol. I think he needs to move up. I definitely think the weight cut was a lot on his body. I do think that played a factor in the fight. Not the only factor. I think that Terence Crawford's skill set was the biggest factor, but other factors like, you know, being drained, I think that did play a huge role. It was a tough weight cut for him. He's a big kid. He's a big kid, and I knew it was going to be hard to get down to 147. And I figured that, you know, once it got to the middle rounds, you know, he was going to get gassed. And it started a little bit earlier. I think right after the first knockdown, you could tell, you know, he was running out of gas. But anyway, you know, hats off to Errol Spence Jr. Didn't make any excuses. The better man won Saturday night, and we're going to see what happens next. Now, he did say that, you know, he's willing to fight Terence Crawford in the rematch, probably at 154 pounds, which if a rematch does take place, I think that's where it should take place. And honestly, I think it would be a more competitive fight at 154, but I still think Terence Crawford will win that fight due to the superior skill set, in my opinion. So shout out to Errol Spence Jr., guys. He isn't going anywhere. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. But anyway, let's get to it. Big time YouTubers. You guys know the ones I'm talking about. I don't even have to say any names. The ones that have been just piling on Terence Crawford for a long time now, saying that he hasn't fought anyone, saying that he doesn't deserve this, he doesn't deserve that. And I think those guys owe Terence Crawford an apology. I think they owe him an apology because he has proved every last one of them wrong. You guys know the ones I'm talking about. The big time YouTubers who make nothing but derogatory Terence Crawford videos every chance they get. And they swear that they up and down that they know boxing. And here's the thing. They look at Terence Crawford's resume and they say, well, he hasn't fought anyone. And on my channel, I beg to differ when it comes to that. If you look at Terence Crawford's resume, I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's fought a myriad of different styles. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that people aren't going to tell you. Just because a fighter doesn't have a marquee name doesn't mean that they're not a good fighter. It doesn't mean that they're trash. That's why you never hear me throwing that word around, you know, that this fighter's trash, this fighter's a bum, because, you know, you just never know. Just because he doesn't have a name. Maybe a fighter is a good fighter, but a platform doesn't feel he's marketable. So if they don't think he's marketable, they're not going to have that huge name like a Danny Garcia or Showtime Sean Porter. But that doesn't mean that the guy can't fight. Terence Bud Crawford's been in the ring with some great fighters. Evas Kavalauskas, he was a tough fighter. You had guys like Gamboa. Well, Gamboa had a name, but he was a good fighter. Those type of guys. Those type of guys that are overlooked because they don't have a marquee name. But Terence Bud Crawford defeated many, many different styles. And I said that would play a huge factor in the fight because Errol Spence Jr. hasn't been in the ring with a guy like Terence Bud Crawford. A slick fighter like Terence Bud Crawford. A switch hitter. A guy who has a extremely high boxing IQ. And that's why I thought it was so important that he would fight someone like Keith one-time Thurman before facing someone like Terence Bud Crawford. Because their styles are kind of similar, even though Terence Bud Crawford is the better fighter. But, he kind of mirrors his style in a way. And I knew it would come back to bite him. But these YouTubers, your favorite YouTubers, have been just piling up on him. And then I seen that Crawford actually went off on one of them at the post-fight press conference. I think it was Ellie's setback. I don't know, if Ellie's been piling on Crawford or not. I don't really watch him all the time. But there are some other ones that make constant derogatory Terence Bud Crawford videos. You guys know who I'm talking about. You know the ones. I don't have to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to put their names out there. But anyway, those guys owe Terence Bud Crawford an apology. Terence Bud Crawford has been seen, well, he is the pound-for-pound king. There's no denying that. And he's been seen as one of the best fighters in the world. There's no doubt in my mind that he's the best fighter in the world. And people have been saying that for a long time. His peers, and you notice his peers were picking him to beat Errol Spence Jr. because they saw the greatness in him. Now, a lot of the grassroots fans were picking Errol because of great marketing ability. Not only that, I would say Errol Spence Jr. is a hell of a fighter, but Terence Bud Crawford is just on another level. And he proved that. He proved the naysayers wrong. He was the underdog. People dogged him out. And he proved everybody wrong. And I want to congratulate him for improving his record to 40-0. Making history, guys. Becoming the first male undisputed champion in 2 weight classes in the 4-belt era. That's saying a lot. That's legendary status. That's legendary status. Now, what's next for him? I don't know. I was hoping that it was going to be Jermell Charlo, but you guys know Jermell Charlo is facing Canelo Alvarez, so that fight's not going to happen. Because if it did, I would still have to give the edge to Terence Bud Crawford, even though he's moving up to 154. But I am excited about Jermell's fight with Canelo Alvarez, and we're going to see what happens with that. But congratulations to Terence Bud Crawford. Spence, brother, keep your head up. You have nothing to be ashamed of. And some of you YouTubers out there, some of you big-time YouTubers, you guys need to be ashamed of yourself. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think about it in the comments section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.